You have found what lights you up. I'm your host, Sunny the Life Coach, and I'm here because I see you searching for something or someone out there to help you feel better. Something to take away the pain that you're feeling, the inadequacies. I know all of the things that happen in life can leave you feeling empty. Your search is over. This podcast is all about finding your own freedom and power to love yourself enough to shine in the ways you were always meant to, the ways in which you are already fully capable of. If you're ready for some real talk, some serious truth bombs, and a few F-bombs, you are in the right place. Let's do this. Let's get lit. Hey there, and welcome to episode 17. Yay! We made it through another week. Didn't we? Yes, we did. Celebrate that. Before we get into part 3 of my series, Why We Drink, I want to encourage you to first listen to parts 1 and 2 if you're just finding this podcast. These 3 episodes are best enjoyed together and in order. They are like pieces of a puzzle in this life, okay? And just to make it crystal clear, these episodes were not created for those who are physically or chemically dependent on alcohol. They are for those of us in the middle who drink maybe too much. And I want to offer alternative solutions to those people today. With this in mind, let us continue. I have said before that I do my best to schedule time on social media. I really do. I have some spaces that I manage that I need to post frequently, like my business profile and groups. I'm working up to every day just to let people know that I'm here for support, you know? It's such an easy thing to get sucked into, though. I have to be very careful with any amount of scrolling. I want to acknowledge that I have been spending the scrolling time I do use on finding the best memes right now. That's my current guilty pleasure that I don't feel one bit guilty about. So I'll just call it a simple pleasure. How's that? Stumbling upon a good meme while the world around you seems as if it's in chaos is like a little ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, isn't it? Like the real sunshine, not the sarcastic way that it becomes your nickname for life because of your solid RBF. Not that kind. The kind that makes you smile or even sometimes belly laugh. I found one of those last night and it actually made me chuckle. You may not think it's funny at all, but that's the beautiful thing about memes. They reach each of us differently. What speaks to me may not speak to you, and vice versa. That's how memes work. So this meme, the internet calls Baby Yoda, but what those of us who have actually watched The Mandalorian know as the child, I'm going to go with Baby Yoda because that's what most people understand. So Baby Yoda is standing with his little arms outstretched and speaking upward saying, listen, if drunk me said or did something, you got to take it up with drunk me. Don't come at sober me. We weren't there. We don't know what happened. And I mean, yes, it made me chuckle. And I'm sure you're curious as to why. It's all good. I'm going to explain. Before you come at me, I am in no way making light of a blackout. They are horrible experiences because they are these pockets of time where you honestly have no memory of what you may have done or said. Details may come back to you later, or they may never appear at all, so you have to rely on what other people say, what other people tell you, or what they say about you. And that's some hard shit to go through. So no, I am not making light of a blackout. I'm chuckling at the fact that we do indeed have different personalities when we drink. Many of us do anyway. And just the idea that if you try to speak to one of the lucid personalities about your grievance from last night or last week is quite honestly something that we have to let go of trying to do. When you do let go of trying to speak to one personality about your grievance with the other, you can find the humor in a meme like that. I'm asking all of you to let it go. Those who have had episodes while drinking and those who have experienced someone else having those episodes, let it go, because they truly are not themselves while under the influence. And hopefully by the end of this episode, I will have explained it well enough so that you can move toward a better understanding of why we drink. This will be the final in this series for now. This is going to be the one where I tie it all together and explain not only why it's something you can't seem to control, but also how to actually do it, how to regain that control, how to get your power when the world wants to tell you that you are powerless. These are the things you have likely never been told about how to find your off switch. Now, also, I want to let you know that you can use this information to quit altogether or to continue drinking in a way that you can manage, a way that doesn't include blackouts. First, let me remind you of that basic instinct that we all have. I'm sure I've mentioned it along the way in this series, but I want you to keep it at the forefront of your mind that our human design includes the essential components of seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, also conserving our energy. Because before we had all of the modern day creature comforts that we enjoy now, before we had a liquor store on every corner, we might have to run fast from a predator. So it was important to stay well rested and on the ready. Seek pleasure, avoid pain, save energy. I also talked about one of the reasons why we drink, and that it is pain avoidance. We don't want to feel the bad stuff. Let's numb it away. What we do when we first begin to realize that alcohol will numb it away is that we begin reaching for it with more frequency, or we begin reaching for it whenever a feeling of discomfort arises, to reduce stress, to relieve anxiety, to overcome momentary fear. We start paving a new pathway in our brains that aligns very well with that basic instinct. The pain's gone now. Everything feels good. So the next time that discomfort arises, and it always will, because that's part of being human, your basic instinct kicks in, almost like muscle memory, putting one foot in front of the other to cross the room. And your brain signals you that you have this desire to drink. Over time, that desire can even become subconscious, automated. Because as those neuro pathways in your brain get rerouted to automatically flip the switch on desire for that buzz to come in and fix everything, you may find yourself on the other side of the room pouring that glass of wine at the end of a long day without even thinking about it. Or you've been thinking about it all damn day, and it's your reward for making it through without losing your shit. That's when it feels like you're out of control. That's when you start looking for the off switch and you're not sure where to find it. And everything you read or hear tells you that it doesn't even exist anyway. And that the only way out of this cycle is to quit completely, label yourself, commit, or I like to say submit, to a program for life that is designed around continuous reinforcement of your powerlessness. But when you understand desire and how it works, you'll also understand that nothing is taking you over. You have simply programmed your brain to desire automatically. And you've done this unconsciously without awareness. This is not where you start beating yourself up. You didn't know. When we create desire with our thoughts and then reward that desire by drinking alcohol, we essentially program ourselves to desire it more. You can get your control back. You can get your power back. You simply need a new program. That new program is going to include feeling your feelings, all of the sensations in your body, the depths of the pain, every bit of it. If that sounds terrifying, by all means, keep on numbing it away and let me know how that works for you. I'm not going to tell you what you should or should not do here. That's the difference. Remember, I want you to find your power and keep it, not surrender it. You decide. You decide the amount and the frequency of your drinking going forward, or you decide that you simply don't want to anymore. It's always your decision from a place of power and control over your life and your amazing mind. You see, there's a part of your brain that's like a supercomputer. It can figure anything out if you hand it off from your area of automation and suppress all of the urges coming from your basic instinct. This part is your prefrontal cortex, and its job is to learn new things and problem solve and plan for the future and all of that really good stuff. Yet most of us don't engage it nearly enough. We keep going with our automation, keep doing the same things the same way because it's just become easier over time. Engaging your prefrontal cortex means that things are going to be new and different and hard for a bit. And we don't like to go there. Because why? Seek pleasure, avoid pain, save energy. Of course. All of the reasons why we are automatically reaching for a drink to soothe ourselves are also all of the reasons why we stay stuck there. Because it's easier. And just for an extra layer of what the fuck, our basic instinct has learned to equate that desire with essential survival. So your instinct kicks in and says, but you need these drinks to survive. What? Exactly. That's exactly what we've done by paving that path. We create the desire, we reward it with alcohol, we feel better, the pain goes away. And that becomes not only the solution to all of the world's problems, or at least those that impact your life, it also becomes the reason why you can't just stop. Because your basic instinct has equated it with survival. It has added to that triad. It has been added there. It's now part of the seek pleasure, avoid pain, save energy triad. It's been automated, like putting one foot in front of the other. Like our innate fight or flight response. Only because there isn't much danger out there in our comfortable little bubbles, the danger in our brains has become our emotions. Okay, so giving this back to the powerful part of your brain comes first from making the decision. You don't make decisions from that space of automation. That is your basic instinct. Because we are planning and problem solving from our prefrontal cortex, then that's the next step. First, you make the decision. What's it going to be? I'm going to take a break for 30 days. I'm going to only drink on Friday, Saturday, not through the week. I'm going to quit entirely. What's your decision. It's entirely your own, but it needs to be a change from that automatic response. It needs to be something that's going to challenge you a bit so that you're using that brain power to undo that programming of desire and that response of rewarding the desire with alcohol. Let's go with the middle of the road and say you're only going to drink on Friday and Saturday, not through the week and not on Sunday afternoons. I was going to say while watching pro football, but damn, we don't even know if we're having that right now or what it's going to look like at the time I'm recording this episode. There are a lot of unknowns, my friends. But that's a good example of one of those scenarios that you just do it because it's what you do. You have wine or beer while watching the football games. Maybe you go over to a friend's house and you all do this together. We have all of these scenarios and occasions in our lives too. That's important to keep in mind. Layered on top of drinking as a response to feelings we don't want to feel, we have these scenarios that may either repeat every week, like football on Sundays, or a special celebration, or because it's Friday. I want you to notice all of those justifications that you make for your drinking, and then I want you to come up with a plan as to how you're going to change that up. Then you develop a protocol. You sit down, you use the powerful part of your brain to create a drink plan. You will write it down and you get very detailed about it. For example, you'll say, I will have 3 glasses of Chardonnay, 8 ounces each, on Friday evening at home. Or I will have 2 glasses of Chardonnay, 8 ounces each, on Saturday evening while visiting my neighbors. Or you combine those two. This is what I do on Friday. This is what I do on Saturday. Friday, Saturday, check those boxes. See how this works? You plan ahead exactly what you will drink, exactly how much you will drink, where you will be, and who you will be with. You do not leave it to chance. You do not accept a last-minute invitation from your friend on Wednesday evening to participate in a wine tasting a couple of hours away. Unless you want to participate and only drink sparkling water, of course. That's always an option. I've done that, and it's not at all hard to do when you're making a commitment to yourself, because it's not part of your plan. It's not on your protocol. You do only what you have planned to do and nothing more. It's a lot like meal planning and prepping for those of you who have had experience with it. Like, you have some people who will just do it in their head. I'm going to quote unquote plan that I'll have this salad for lunch and a lean protein and veggie for dinner. I'll figure out what that is when the time comes. And then there are those who spend their Sundays planning, cooking, and portioning out every meal for the week with exact precision. And then all of the containers are stacked neatly in the fridge, so all of the decisions have been made well ahead of time. That's using your prefrontal cortex. That's planning in advance, making the decision from a place of power and control, making that decision one time and not wavering from it no matter what. Which one of those meal preppers will be more successful with her weight loss? The same goes for drinking. People who binge eat get dopamine hits to the brain too. So it's not just the addictive qualities of alcohol itself, it's the addictive qualities of our brains. And by addictive, I mean automated. If you create a plan in your head, which is what most of us do, save your energy. If you create a plan in your head that looks something like, I'm going to have a few glasses of wine on Friday night, and leave it open-ended like that, I can almost guarantee you'll polish off a bottle and maybe even open up a second. That's how it works when you don't have a specific plan that you follow. When you don't create that agreement with yourself that these are the steps I'm willing to take in order to create lasting change, In order to undo that automation, in order to unlearn those habits, in order to pave a new path, in order to feel all of my feelings and have a greater experience of this life, one that I fully remember, then you cannot be successful. So you get super specific with your plan and you do not deviate from it for any reason. That's when the feelings are going to come up. You're going to have cravings. You're going to have desire outside of that window that you've set for yourself. That will happen. Expect it. You've been numbing away a lot of shit for a lot of years, so some things are going to come up in this process. That's how this works. This is also where I caution you, do not rely on willpower. That will not work. Why? Why not use it? I mean, that's what everyone tells you to do. Just strengthen your resolve through willpower. Listen, that is bullshit. Willpower doesn't work because it is a finite resource. Using it only strengthens the cycle of desire and reward. When we want the alcohol, resist the urge temporarily, and experience deprivation, each time we do that, our willpower depletes and we drink. That's why willpower doesn't work. Let me say it again and a little louder for the people in the back. When we want the alcohol, resist the urge temporarily and then feel that deprivation, our willpower depletes and we drink. Willpower is good for short moments in time, not for long-term resolution of unlearning habits. Willpower is there for short bursts, not for the full marathon. Because notice what willpower is. Willpower is resisting the urge. I've been saying we need to do things differently, right? You've got to feel that urge. You've got to sit with that craving. You've got to allow it to pass through your body and move on its way. We're so used to that automatic response of reaching for the drink to satisfy that craving, a lot of us don't even know what deprivation feels like. Try it. How would you describe what it feels like to deprive yourself of that drink or that smoke or whatever the desire of the moment is? What are the sensations in your body? What does it feel like? This is where you have to notice it, acknowledge it, allow it, be present with it, feel it all the way through, and allow it to pass. It will. All of the feelings that you need to feel need to be handled this way. The cravings will come in response to another emotion, most likely. Just like a trigger. You're triggered by an emotion, like I used to be triggered with terror at seeing a snake. Are you craving because it's in front of you, someone else is drinking and you feel deprivation? You feeling some FOMO? Missing out on that fantastic numbing experience? What are you trying to numb? Your response needs to be to sit down and write it out, describe it fully, feel it. Only you are going to see this, so get as graphic as you need to get. What are you going through? When you do this exercise enough times, you start to create new pathways in your brain and you're no longer operating on autopilot. You will stop numbing and start becoming. You'll show the world and most importantly yourself the version of you that is amazing. And that's when you can chuckle at a Baby Yoda meme that pokes fun at drunk me, because you won't be in those places anymore. You will have worked through the guilt and the shame and the regret that you've been suppressing, and you'll be truly enjoying your life again. Just to recap, the exercise is this. Number 1, you create a drink plan or a protocol ahead of time. always at least 24 hours in advance of having a drink. Really, I see the difference between a drink plan and protocol is that the latter is like overarching. You might have a drink plan for a special occasion, such as a wedding or a birthday, where you might have drinks on a day that you wouldn't normally. But your protocol is what you live by. You only drink 1 day a week or 2 days a week. That is your general protocol. And then when you decide outside of that, then that is a specific drink plan. You create your plan. Number two, you create your plan ahead of time and you are very specific exactly what you will drink, how much, how many, who with, and where you will be. You create the entire scene of your movie, and there are no retakes or last-minute adjustments. You do only what you've scripted out. Number three, you do not even attempt to exercise willpower. Willpower does not work. It is finite. It is temporary. It will quickly deplete and will only perpetuate the desire-reward cycle. Number four, instead of white-knuckling, you will feel all of your feelings, including those cravings that you absolutely expect to appear, including those triggers when someone else is drinking around you. You will instead identify the true emotion that is lurking beneath the surface of the cravings and the triggers, the emotions that you have taught your brain to associate with danger and to be avoided at all costs. Number five, you will journal about your feelings to truly notice and acknowledge them. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. This is your new life. If you want to break the cycle, this is how you do it. Rumi says, gratitude is the wine for the soul. Go on, get drunk. And that's really the best kind of drunk to be, isn't it? Drunk on gratitude. If you've been listening to this full series, and I hope you have, because these 3 episodes are better together. If you've been listening to this full series, you've heard me say that you can't numb away the bad without also numbing away the good. When was the last time you felt gratitude? Notice when the good feelings come up too, because they will. I promise they will. And you'll get to look at ridiculous memes and find more humor in them, even if it's dark humor, because that's not who you are anymore. You don't drink to numb out or to zone out. You don't drink until you black out, and you don't drink without a plan. Not alcohol, that is. Now, getting drunk on gratitude, sign me up in unlimited quantities, open-ended. And that, my friends, is how you find your power. As informational as I hope this series has been for you, I have actually kept it surface level. The best way to learn more is to work with a coach. I'm happy to set up a time to talk with you about it. If you're interested, just message me on Facebook at Sunny the Life Coach, and I'll also drop my email address in the show notes. I would be honored to hear from you. Stop numbing, start becoming. Light up, shine on.